Okay, and finally, if we move on to writing, and in the old days, do you remember the teacher's red pen coming out, filling the essays with red ink? Okay, so many different ways now of giving feedback. You could spin your feedback on a text throughout the student's text in an email, or use screen capture software such as Camtasia, where what you're saying is captured onto the computer and you can give your student a personal tutorial about their work. Or if anybody's ever written in ELT, they'll be very familiar with word track changes, where your editor or your teacher could write in feedback on what you're writing. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the skills, and we're just going to finish off the second part of this webinar now with a very brief look at two other areas of language. The first one is phonology. So I don't know how many people have actually seen up on the Macmillan site. There is an interactive version now of the phonemic chart. You probably have one of these in one guise or another in your classroom. But nowadays, obviously, downloading that from the internet, having it around on a computer, opens up many, many more possibilities. Perhaps the biggest one being students being able to go back, listen to the sounds in the privacy of their own home, and practicing those things that are quite different in terms of how they put move their jaw and so on. If anyone was lucky enough to watch Adrian Underhill's recent series of presentations, he gave a presentation on this chart in Seville recently, and he was actually pulling out these symbols from the chart, building up words down at the bottom. So that's another exciting thing on its way, using these symbols individually. Okay, then moving on, and then just what we tell our students in terms of learner training, that's certainly changed quite a lot now. And one of the things that I do is watch as students come into the class, what dictionaries are they using? Are they using little bilingual dictionaries? Do they have an English dictionary? Is it in book form? Have they tried a web dictionary? So there's a nice little activity that you can download or you can print out from our book, which basically you divide your class into 3 or 4 groups, take a set of words and get them to look those words up in different media. So one group are looking up the words in a paper-based dictionary. Boy, does it take a long time now to flick through those pages and find it. Another group are just going up to the web, do a quick search, find out where the word is, and the other group are looking at the words on a CD-ROM. Those groups come back together, you pyramid, and then just basically they compare the 3 different media. So a nice way of raising awareness of the different technologies that are around in terms of looking at vocabulary. Okay, so next slide. Just to finish off this main part of the webinar now, and then we'll move on to questions. Just to say, I think lots of things are happening. One thing certainly is teachers are just recognising they have still a key role to play in language learning, but also that technology just does too. And so perhaps starting their courses maybe by saying, "Hi, I'm your teacher. Here's your password to, for instance, the Macmillan English Campus," or "Here's your user ID for a virtual learning environment. I use Blackboard at the University I'm at," or there's free things out there like NiceNet. Moodle is also free. So actually saying a lot of your course is actually stored on the VLE. Or maybe you can access your course from the DVD-ROM, for instance. So actually starting your course in a kind of blended way. Next slide. Great, well I'm going to move on to questions in just a moment. It's just to say that I do have a website. It's www.te4be, Technology for Business English, and you can find